What did you discover from reading the article? What did you learn? Were your predictions correct?
I learned that people overthink the definition of math.
What do you mean?
Like they search the Oxford English Dictionary for the freaking definition of ratio and proportion. And that goes for two different dictionaries as well. So, too much overthinking.
Did you learn anything new that you didn't know before?
I learned that I was wrong.
That you're wrong. How?
Because I was wrong here.
So maybe you didn't know proportions and ratio as much as you thought you did?
What is this table?
The last portion that will that you are able to start learning the science that we can move on. So I want you to take a few seconds to read this. I decided to use video games. This is a video game task because I know how much you like video games, so I decided to relate it to you because I thought it would make it more interesting since you constantly play it. So I want you to take about 5 minutes to read the problem, think about what you need, what's important in the problem, and what it's asking you. Last week we started off with learning about inequalities. We did some functions. We did then I gave you kind of like just the math worksheet to see what type of things you know, right? So now I want you to use this vocabulary. I want to know how much exactly do you know about those topics we have been reviewing. And then also I want to know what type of knowledge you know about something we're going to do next week. So I want to use this to see how much you know. In this worksheet, the words are equations, expressions, linear equations, linear functions, variable, sales tax, linear inequalities, solutions, slope, coordinate plane, ratio, proportions, units, and percentage. So I want you to put a check mark for each vocabulary you know. For example, in the first one it says, I never saw it before, I heard it, but I don't know what it means, I recognize it. In context, related to something I know it well, or I can use it in a sentence, or an example, since
I can use it in a sentence?
Yeah, so
I
you
know
would have
what
to
an
create
equation is.
So you would have to create a sentence that kind of gives the definition, or maybe give me an example also. So do you understand? Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Exactly do you know about equations?
They usually contain variables.
Okay. So what is the difference between an equation and a expression?
I'd be lying if I knew what the difference was.
Okay, so that's good to know that you don't really know the difference. So it's something we can review on. What exactly is a linear equation?
I think linear equations are used for graphing? No?
Okay, for
Yes,
graphing. Do you know exactly what type of graph it is?
A dotted, no, what's the graph called? Coordinate graph? No. So I play
It's a line graph.
Line graph.
Do you know what a linear function is?
Isn't it once again used with graphs?
Okay, it's used with the graph, but what type of graph is it going to give you overall? What exactly do you know about a variable?
A variable is a placeholder for an unidentified number.
Okay, and I can see you did an example.
8x equals 8.
Okay, so then x is pretty much the placeholder of a number.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
8x equals 8.
The next one is sales tax. Do you exactly know?
I know it's used in clothes.
Okay, it's used in clothes. What types of problems would you see sales tax being used?
Determining how much a percentage,
which is something we're going to be doing next week. Okay, and do you remember what exactly slope is? Give me an example.
Like the equation, y equals mx plus b? Is that not slope?
That's actually standard form. But do you remember what slope is? Like, for example, what's an example of slope?
The rise over run.
Rise over run, right? So
2 over
there's
3.
could be like a negative slope or a positive slope. So going up the stairs is like an example of slope,
Negative
right?
2 over 3.
How about ratios?
Well, ratios are like, for every 1 piece of slice I eat 8 pies a week.
Okay. How about proportions? You remember anything about
they're
proportion?
like
Are they similar to ratios?
they're like they involve cross multiplying.
Okay.
Like, here I write an example. So 1 over 2 equals 3 over 5.
What is a percent out of?
100.
Mm-hmm.
Some SAT problems. There are 6 SAT problems that I picked out which incorporate the main ideas in SAT. So here is the problems. There are 6 of them, and here is some sheet of paper just in case you need to show work. After you are done, I would like to review what you had questions on and what you need help in, so like that I can work with you. Okay? I actually have a few questions for you. I was wondering what was the most difficult for you in these 6 problems?
I felt the hardest ones were 5 and 6, but mostly because, for 5, I was kind of confused on how to continue the problem.